Good morning everyone. Today we are going to start with the second chapter of our class 10th biology, absorption by roots. In this chapter we are going to discuss firstly about the concept of osmosis. What do we understand by osmosis? Osmosis is the phenomena of movement of solvent from its higher concentration to lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. What do we mean by this? That when a solution in which solvent is more in comparison to the solute is kept in contact with the similar solution but of different concentration. Suppose this is solution A and this is solution B. In solution B, the solvent is comparatively lesser and solute is comparatively more. Then when these two solutions are kept in close contact with each other with the difference of semi-permeable membrane, the solvent which is present in more amount in A tends to move towards the solution B where it is present in less amount. So the movement of solvent from its higher concentration to the lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is termed as osmosis. Now another phenomena just similar to osmosis is diffusion. But what is the difference between osmosis and diffusion? In the osmosis only the solvent was moving, whereas in diffusion both solvent as well as solute, both of them move from their higher concentration to the lower concentration. For example, this is a solution. Over this side, on the left side, the solvent is more in comparison to the right side, and the solute on right side is more in comparison to the left side. Now both of them are going to move from their higher concentration to the lower concentration. Solute will move towards the left side, whereas solvent will move towards the right side. So there will be intermixing of the solute as well as solvent, leading to the formation of a homogeneous mixture. So diffusion normally leads to the formation of a homogeneous mixture where both solute as well as solvent move from their higher concentration to the lower concentration, and there is no semi-permeable membrane involved. So two differences between osmosis and diffusion. In osmosis only the solvent moves, whereas in diffusion the solvent as well as solute, both of them move. Second difference, in osmosis the semi-permeable membrane is there, whereas in diffusion no semi-permeable membrane is present. Now third topic is tonicity. What do we understand by tonicity? The concentration of the solution in respect to its environment. For example, a cell is kept in a solution. So the concentration of this solution is termed as its tonicity. it can be of three types: hypotonic, hypertonic and isotonic. When the concentration of solution outside the cell is more in comparison to that present in the cell, that solution is termed as hypertonic. That means more amount of solute and less solvent. Second condition is hypotonic, where the solvent outside the cell is more in comparison to that of the cell. The solvent is more and solute is comparatively lesser. The third condition is isotonic. What do we understand by isotonic? That the solution outside the cell as well as the solution which is present inside the cell is same. So the concentration of solution A is similar to that of solution B. In this case, no exchange of material will occur. Okay, now read over here very carefully. In isotonic solution, no net movement of water particles. That means the solution will not go inside, neither it will come outside. In case of hypertonic solution, we see where the solute is more, the solvent is less, there is movement of solvent from the cell towards outside. And in hypotonic solution, where solvent is high outside, there is movement of solution inside the cell. Okay, let's discuss this in detail. Now, in the hypertonic solution, when the cell is kept in hypertonic solution, what do we understand by hypertonic solution? For example, this is a hypertonic solution and the cell is kept inside it. Hypertonic solution means the solute is more. Solute could be anything. It could be sugar, it could be salt, it could be anything. So solute is more and solvent is less in comparison to what is present inside the cell. Now in the cell, the solvent is more. That means the solvent is at higher concentration. Outside, the solvent is at lower concentration. And what we have discussed in osmosis, that the solvent tends to move from its higher concentration to the lower concentration. Now when the solvent starts moving outside the cell will shrink in size. This shrinkage of cell when kept in a hypertonic solution is called as plasmolysis. Okay, next concept is deplasmolysis. Now what happens in deplasmolysis? Suppose the cell has now shrinked. As it was kept in a hypertonic solution, the cell has shrinked in size. I want to regain the original position of the cell. What am I going to do? I am going to change the solution. I will put a hypotonic solution outside. That means solvent more or at higher concentration, and in this the solvent is at lower concentration. Now what is going to happen? Again the osmosis will occur, the movement of solvent from its higher concentration to the lower concentration. So the solvent starts moving inside. Now what is going to happen? The cell will again regain its original condition. This process is termed as deplasmolysis. That means reverse of plasmolysis. Okay. Now, when deplasmolysis occurs, the cell becomes fully turgid. What do we understand by turgidity and flaccidity? Turgidity. The cell, when regains its original position, that means it is fully filled with the solvent. Okay, the solvent is present in the maximum amount. This position or this condition of cell is called as turgidity. And during plasmolysis, when the cell shrinks in size or tends to lose its solution to the environment, it becomes flaccid in nature. Flaccid means devoid of the solution, and turgidity means fully distended with the solution. See, in this diagram we have seen that in turgidity the water tends to move inside the cell, making it fully distended with the solution. And in flaccidity, opposite is happening, where the water moves outside the cell, leading to the shrinkage of protoplasm. Okay, so this state of shrinkage of protoplasm, when kept in a hypertonic solution, is called as a flaccid cell. Now, how am I going to relate all these things in case of roots? How these things such as osmosis, diffusion, turgidity, flaccidity is going to help me in clearing my concept about uptake of water by the roots. Okay, suppose this is a root of the plant. Okay, we pour the water outside in the soil. Now, for the movement of water from the soil into the root must be at lower concentration in comparison to the soil. So, when the soil is at the higher concentration in comparison to the root, the water or the solvent will tend to move from where to where? From its higher concentration to the lower concentration, thereby leading to the movement or absorption of water by the roots. Okay, so the cell becomes turgid, the root cells become turgid, and the movement of water continues from the outside to the inside. Okay, another concept which is important over here is transpiration. Now, once the water has moved inside the root, okay, the water has moved inside the root, it needs to move further, it needs to go up the plant. How is this process taking place? This process is facilitated with the help of another process known as transpiration. What is transpiration? The loss of water in form of water vapor from the aerial parts of the plant. Now, aerial parts of the plant are what? Leaves, mainly leaves. What is going to happen? The roots will absorb the water from the soil, take it up through the xylem vessel, help in spreading of water throughout the plant, and a little bit of water is lost in the form of water vapor through the process of transpiration. Now, when the water is lost in the process of transpiration, it leads to lower concentration over where? In the roots. Now, again the roots have become in the lower concentration or have become flaccid. Now again the water which is present in the soil will move from the soil to the roots, that is from its higher concentration to the lower concentration. So this process continues. For the uptake of water by the roots, we need two processes. One is osmosis and another one is transpiration. If transpiration will not occur, osmosis also will not occur. This happens during the rainy season. When it's raining outside, the water is not lost by the plant to the environment in the form of transpiration, and hence we see that the pot filled with water also remains as such, and the water is not absorbed by the roots. Why? Because there is no loss of water, so no uptake of water will occur. Okay, that's all for this topic today. Rest of it we are going to discuss in our next video. God bless you. Take care.